Okay, today you're learning about MLA citation. Let's take this apart for a moment. We've got this word citation. Matthew, what part of speech is citation? I-O-N ending. Let's use our vocab standards. Very good. It's a noun. Now, Matthew, you may never have seen this word before. It is a noun. I will often use it in its verb form. Matthew or anybody else, can you think of what the transformation is? Citation's the noun. What's the verb? No, that's plural noun. I mean, let's transform it, James, into a verb form. Okay? That's the adjective. If that's the adjective, what do you think the verb is? Gabe, you look like you might know it. That's a present participle, so let's just take the ing off. Cite. So if I ask Zek, how would you cite that? I'm using not this word. I'm using that word, cite, C-I-T-E. This process is called citation. It's one of those words you got to own in an English class. You'll be using it for years. Definition of citation, definition of citing. This is where you list important information about a resource. We've already seen 3 important pieces of information that you'll need. Author, article title, website title. So we are citing sources. Don't let those words just flow right past you. Know exactly what I mean when I say you need to cite your source. So if I say to Kayla, I love this quotation, it works really well, but I need you to cite it. Kayla says, oh, okay, that means I have to list the important information about where I found that quotation. One last bit of this title that we should address is the MLA part. MLA is an acronym. Stands for the Modern Language Association. Now, do you care? No. Are you going to ever become part of the Modern Language Association? No. So why do you need to know that? Well, you might be curious what MLA stands for, but more importantly, you must know that the rules for citation are established by that organization. They're not Mr. Clarkson's rules of citation. They're not McCord's rules of citations. They're not Sylvania School's rules of citation. These are national rules of citation. The Modern Language Association is a group of English professors, college academics, people who do this professionally who set the rules. Alyssa, what are your rules for capitalization in a title? What do you not capitalize in a title? No, you capitalize pronouns because those are considered like nouns. Conjunctions, good. Somebody give me something else. Articles, excellent. And the last one, conjunctions, articles, what else do I not capitalize in the title? Other little words, Gabe. Prepositions, thank you. That's an MLA rule, folks. That's an MLA rule. MLA establishes all sorts of rules. And this is just another set of rules that will follow. You'll see it next year. Some English teacher will say, hey, you got to use MLA format on that, or you have to cite according to MLA rules. And the year after that, and the year after that, and college professors use them as well. So, it's not my rules. That's what I want you to make sure you understand. MLA will ask for a certain set of information. that you must cite. And today we're using websites and news articles from websites. Books have different citations. Magazines have different citations. Interviews have different citations. Today we're going to look at websites. Marissa, what was one of the important pieces of information that we needed to know about your resource? What important piece of information will I have to list when I cite? Remember, they were on your first 3 lines of your current events report. Good. We need a title. Which title do we need, Marissa? Of the article. Okay. We'll need the article title. Yes, the current event. So it's the article title. Oops. What other piece of information will we need? Publication. So website title. Thank you, Maddie. Another piece of information? Yeah, Bridget. Author. This is 1. And these are in order, by the way. I need 3 other pieces of information. Anybody want to give me a guess on what any one of those 3 might be? And I will give you a hint. They're not listed as part of your current events questions. But if you look at the printout of your article, you might see some of this information on the page. Tyler, what do you think? What would you mean by a heading? Like your name and all that? I'm not sure I understand what you mean by a heading. That's why I'm... What do you mean by a heading? What words will be in the heading? What do you... Right. That will come on the first page of your report. Your name, my name, the class, all of that stuff. We're talking about when you cite the source. What information from the source do you need? Tyler, you're right that that will be in the research report, but that's on the first page. Kayla? Date that it was published, right? That's number 5. And we actually call that the date of update. Here's a little advanced question for you. Why do we call it the date of update instead of the date of publication? Why use the word update? What can you do with website entry that you cannot do with a regular published book? I see Gabe's hand, but I'm pretty sure he's not the only one who knows the answer to this. Brandon, you can change it. So it's not the date it was published, which means the first day it was put on the web, but it's the most recent update or change. I want the most recent date. So some of you are probably looking at articles that were updated after they were first published. We were looking at an SI Kids article this morning that was. I want the most recent date of update. Good. I need 2 more pieces of information. Anybody have an idea? No, that's an excellent question, Maddie. MLA stopped using URLs a couple years ago. It was 2009 that change went into effect. So that's a wonderful question because, Maddie, I'm going to be honest with you, some English teachers haven't gotten the memo yet. It's like 3 years old they made that change, and some English teachers say, hey, include the URL. You don't need to. What's a URL? Zach, do you know what a URL is? Very good. The information in the top bar, thank you. That HTTP, all that nonsense. Do not need it. Maddie, you used to, so that was a good answer. Thank you. These last 2 you might not be able to get pretty quickly, so I'll fill them in for you. Website publisher, the company that is responsible for that, and another date, the date of access. Jesse, what do you think the difference is between a date of update and a date of access? That's when they put it on the website. So what's the date of access then? It's not about them, it's about you. It's the date that you did what? Yeah, the date that you read the article. You need two dates, folks. You need their date, the date that they updated it, and you need your date, the date that you read it. In first period, I was asked why. Let's say your date of access is 9/21/12. Let's say date of update was 9/19/12. Let's say I read that source in December and it's been updated since then. It was later updated on 12/1/12, and information was changed. I need to know, let's say Ethan's doing this. Ethan accessed it on the 21st. It was posted on the 19th, but it was changed on the 1st. When I read his paper, I think that's not the correct information. Ethan misread the site or made a mistake. But then, because I have two dates, I see, oh, they made a change after he read it. And I know Ethan didn't make a mistake. He was just reading an earlier version. That's why we need two dates, to show when you read which update. It's almost as if a book were put on your desk and then were taken off and another one were put in its place, another one was put in its place, another one was put in its place. Which one of those did you read? Giving me both dates helps me understand that. These are the 6 pieces of information you need for a standard web entry. So here's what I'd like you to do. I want you kind of creating your own little worksheet or form. You can number it 1 through 6. I want you taking one of your current events reports, I do not care which, and seeing how much of that you can fill in. I have another current events report to hand back to you, the one you turned in to me yesterday, so you'll have a 4th. Yes, these are for your notes, so you can use the same sheet. All right, who needs some help finding information for one of their web resources? Okay, James, website publisher, excellent. So James, let's take a look at what you got here. I'd like the title, the article title. College football preview, and is that SI Kids? All right. Hey, eyes forward, please. Remember how I find this easily? I take a chunk of the title, enclose it in quotation marks, and then list the source, and should work. Is it the Barkley and Ball lead 2012? Nope. Is it, excuse me, what's the rest of the title? It's not this one, though. Nope. Okay. So I need a little bit more of the title. Help me out with more of the title. College football preview, 5 freshmen to watch in 2012. Huh. Okay, I'm going to try something else here. I'm going to go to SI Kids. I'm going to try it in their search. Usually that method is effective. College football preview. And James, if I'm making any mistake in any of the wording, let me know. College football preview. No. There we go. Oh, they misspelled freshman. That's why I wasn't finding it. It should be, is it M-A-N on there? Yes. That's misspelled. Okay, so let's take a look. What was that? Yeah, by the way, publications make grammar mistakes also. Freshman is singular, freshmen is plural. So it's just like man and men. Man is one man, men is multiple. So they just made a mistake. Tyler? You thought what? You would hope. But even with editorial review, some mistakes still go through. You'll see it from time to time. Tyler, it's not very often. I've read novels, just print books, that have probably been read several times through different editors, still contain mistakes. What information do you want, James? Can anybody tell me where I would find the website publisher? You'll always find website publishers in a couple key places. Melissa? You're kind of pointing. Where would I find the website publisher? I'm sorry? I think you do. You just don't think you know. Under, down at the bottom. Melissa, don't lack confidence. You know what you're talking about. If you were on a computer, you probably would have poked around for about 30 seconds and you would have found it because your instincts are right. Publication information is at the bottom of the page, often next to a copyright date. James, who's responsible for publishing sikids.com? It's on the screen. Sports Illustrated Kids. Yeah. So here's what you do. Your website title is sikids.com. Your publisher is Sports Illustrated Kids. And all of you working with sikids.com, there's your publisher. Because it's going to be the same for all of you. Yes? Yes. So Maddie has just found her publisher for Scholastic on the printed copy of the article that she has in front of her. Information's often right there. So, James, let me ask you a question. If it wasn't here, if I didn't find Sports Illustrated Kids on the bottom of that article page, what other page might have publication information within the SI Kids website? Maybe news or blogs, okay? Let's see. Does it have it down there? Come on. Yeah, same sort of information. But once again, I'm going to say, what if it didn't? There's a certain page on every website that should have publication information. What page should? Yes? Thank you. How do I access the home page really quickly, James? Very good. Click on the banner. Thank you. If I can't find the publisher on the article page, I go to the home page. And home page will have publisher information if it's available. Looks like Sports Illustrated Kids or SI Kids does it on every single page, but not all websites do. So look for the home page, look for the article page, scroll down to the bottom. It should be next to a copyright date. And he will write Sports Illustrated Kids. Don't capitalize the IDS, just the K. Do you have all the rest of your information, James? All right. We're looking for the date of update. Robin, can you tell me what James's date of update is? August 31st, 2012. Thank you very much. It's listed right there. James and everybody else, I don't need the 1:32 p.m. All I need is the month, day, and year. August 31st, 2012. Thank you, Robin. James, the date of access is the day you read it. I know. Guess. You can. Which report was that? First, second, or third, or fourth? I don't know. Okay. Well, you'll think about it and you'll pinpoint a date you read it. Oh, did you print it? Is there a code down? Ah, there you go, James. If you're not sure what date you read this, look at your printout. The day you printed it is down at the bottom. So, should be in like computer code. Oh, Brandon, you copied and pasted. That was different. If you printed it directly from the website, there will be a little code at the bottom showing what day you printed it. Yeah.
So without going back on the website, you can't really tell what day is updated.
Without going back on the website? You printed it. Look, it's right there. Yeah, this is Time for Kids, right? Hold on. Bridget's got a question. She says, without going back to the website, you can't tell what date it was updated. Bridget, what you're going to do from here on out is every time you read a news article, you're going to copy this information down while you're reading it. So you're right, we're kind of backtracking. But let's see what we can get. TFK, is it TFK goes 3D? Let's see my strategy work. My strategy did not work. Well, it might not. Let's see. Let's see if 3D pulls anything. There it is. Oh, hey. Okay, so Bridget printed her article, and she has this date of access or date of update, September 3rd, 2012. Looks like it hasn't been updated since then. Bridget can list that. When Bridget originally reads the article, she needs to, as a good researcher, list those dates. Write them down somewhere, type them into a document, somehow record them. Because she's right. What if the date of update is after her date of access? That doesn't make any sense. So she's got that on her printout. Many of you have this information on your printout. Bridget, do you have any idea who publishes Time for Kids? Alexis, where will we find the publisher for Time for Kids? Nope, that's the author. That's the author. We're looking for the overall publisher of the site. Let's look up top. I don't see a publisher up top. I see the title up top. The name of it up top. So where else would I look, Alexis? You've looked up top. It's not up there. Speak up. Yeah. Look at the bottom. Alexis, do you see the publisher? Should be next to a copyright date. Should be next to a year that it was copyrighted. That's legal language. What's next to that? Time Incorporated. There you go. You found it. Ignore the all rights reserved. That's legal. Legal language has nothing to do with the company name. So your company name is Time Incorporated. Anybody dealing with Time for Kids, it's Time Inc. Anybody dealing with Scholastic, Maddie, what's the publisher's name? Scholastic Inc. INC, period, stands for Incorporated. So we've got Sports Illustrated Kids as the publisher of sikids.com. We have Time Incorporated as the publisher of Time for Kids. And we have Scholastic Inc. as the publisher of Scholastic. Who would like to take a look at their Channel 1 article? Who's got a Channel 1 article, wants to see it on screen? Gabe, what's the Channel 1 article you got? Zombie apocalypse. Channel 1. Hey, yay, it worked. That your article? All right, let's do it. How to survive a zombie apocalypse on Channel 1. Let's see, Kayla, what is my author? First piece of information. And if you don't see it, tell me where I might find it. Let's look at the bottom. Good job. Could be Scott Evans, but I don't know that he read it or wrote it. Yeah, what do you think? Yeah, I don't see one. I mean, they mention Scott Evans, but they don't list him as an author, so we're going to leave that unlisted. What is the article title, Amanda? Article title. How to survive a zombie apocalypse. Notice it's all caps. Make sure you're following proper capitalization rules. Not only following proper capitalization rules, but Brandon, what do you want to make sure to do when you're writing down the article title? Sure you do. You've done it for every current events report, I believe. Quotation marks. MLA requires you use quotation marks when you're citing. Tyler, what's the name of the website? Channel 1 News. And Tyler, what do you want to make sure to do when you're listing Channel 1 News? Correct. MLA requires that you underline it. Jesse, what's the publisher? Are you guessing or do you know? Where would you find the information? At the bottom. Let's take a look. Come on, keep going. There we go. Ethan, what's the publisher of Channel 1 News? Channel 1, LLC. Anybody dealing with Channel 1, there's your publisher. Channel 1 LLC. LLC is a technical term, stands for Limited Liability Corporation. It tells you what kind of company it is. Just like incorporated is different. So Time Inc. is an incorporation. Channel 1 is an LLC. Yeah? No, it has to do with how much you can sue them and for what. It's legal stuff. That's a good question, Gabe. It's not limited reliability, it's limited liability. Liability means how liable you are for blame if something goes wrong. So there's that. We've got the publisher. Carter, what's the date of update? Excellent, September 4th, 2012. And Gabe, did you print it? Do you know what date you read it or accessed it? Should be code at the bottom of your printout, maybe? September 5th, 2012. Done. Gabe has all the information he needs to cite this. That's all the information that MLA requires. So MLA is going to give me that information, or ask for that information. I'm going to report it to my reader, and then when Tyler is writing his research report about Jamestown, and he lists 6 different sources, he's going to give me that information. If I wanted to read them, can find them almost instantaneously. And that's the point. Pause there a moment for questions. No? We only have a few minutes left, so Tyler?
So, like, right now, you can't apply
Well, if you printed it, it's listed on there. Right? In fact, since you folks printed these from the web, you probably have all of the information. Publisher, date of update, article, title, author. You're not turning anything in right now, but let me tell you how this is going to work. Next week, you will complete a current events report. Ethan, when's the current events report due next week? Tuesday. Thank you very much. The next current events report is at level 3. That means you're dealing with quotations, and now you're dealing with MLA citation. You must fill out the citation information for your article. So you don't have to turn this in, but next week, your next current events report, you will do the citation information. Gabe, question? You leave it blank. Yeah, that's what MLA requires. Well, hold on. We'll get into that. Sometimes if it's not listed, you actually note not listed. We'll talk about that. James. Okay, hold on just one second.